All right, so just to show you something and for you to be aware of how irises would behave and multiply. What happened here is that I have grown a bunch of sweet peas flower. The sweet pea flowers are vibrant in colors. I have pink, purple, and white. Now that it's drying up, however, some of my irises are struggling underneath it because when you have an iris bed, you notice that they multiply and they grow and there's more rhizomes and etc. So with that being said, I have gotten some irises that actually hide away underneath this massive vine of sweet pea flower. Now, unintentionally, I did not plant these irises underneath here. However, once the irises grow and separates and spread, they actually go everywhere. And with that being said, it's another reason why we want to actually pay attention to the behavior of our plant and to dig them out. So what I will be doing today is I am going to trim down the vine of my sweet pea flowers because all my blooms has been doing great, and I also have a bunch of seeds. And so to clean out the garden a little bit more, what I would do is I am going to try to clear out the vines and to see where my irises has separates and spread. And this means that it's gonna be a lot of work. However, if you love gardening, work in the garden doesn't really matters until your back hurts and then you have to take a Tylenol. Anywho, it's evidently once the irises love the location where it's at, it actually will multiply and it will have 1, 2, 3 increases. Each iris can multiply in 1 year, have about up to 9 increases if they're happy. Now, because of this location, obviously it doesn't have a lot of sun. Yes, it has nutrients because I know my way of amending my soil every year will help my plant to grow. So, as you can see here that this iris rhizome is extremely happy because it is bigger than 3 of my fingers, and then there is the offspring here. But you also can see that it died back because, and the reason why it died back is because it has little to no sunlight being underneath my viney sweet pea. And honestly, I'm not the one to blame because my irises, if I plant out here, it'd have a lot of sun. What happened is that when it grow and it multiplies, it needs a lot of space. And this is the reason why we always dig out our irises and basically amend the soil and separate them, and then they become a huge garden of irises. Unfortunately for me, I'm in California. I don't have very many land. Therefore, I have to dig out my irises very often. Reason for it because I do not have a lot of space for them. If one iris loves to grow and multiply, and it multiply into 9 different rhizome or 9 different plants, then I would be in trouble. My little garden cannot handle that. And this is the reason why I created the iris group, because I found one friend. Her name is Shirley, and Shirley, please don't hate me for using your name. But I have a lovely friend, Shirley from Utah, and she was actually the first person that really, like, we didn't know each other at all, and she's lived in a different state, and just for the love of iris, She asked me, "Hey Kim, do you want to trade?" And honestly, she is a lady who very direct, and she's a wonderful person actually. And she doesn't really talk very much either. But so what got me going is that she's so kind. She's so honest, she's so nice, and she said, "Hey Kim, do you want to trade irises?" And I just say, "Hey, yes." And I sent her a box of irises, and then 2, 3 months later, or sometimes she tells me, "Oh, I'm gonna dig it up." Like, I always like to dig my irises up first, or as soon as I am able to, because I have a very hectic schedule. So Shirley said, "I'm gonna dig up my iris and whatever, and I'll send you a box." But I already sent her some of the irises that I had already dig out. Long story short, I waited and waited, and then there goes in the mail a box addressed to me from Shirley. I was like, "Hey, this is wonderful. I could share my iris to someone, and I can multiply this so I could get more irises that I like." So it just kept on going and going, and we built a friendship, and she supports everything I do. So everything I've done started from her. Basically, she is very knowledgeable about gardening, and especially with irises. As for me, I kind of see myself as an amateur, but I've learned a lot. And she also had installed some faith in me in terms of trusting people, giving people my address, and basically it all started with just a conversation from Facebook. "Hey, do you want to, you know, um, and at the time, I didn't have very many irises, but I have got a few. So I sent her as much as I could. And then also, I went on to another forum, and I've learned that there are other iris group, and there's one in Italy, there's one in Europe, it's all over the place. And at the end of the day, to be honest with you, no matter where you are at, flowers brings people together, and I love it. I do love it. So this is why I have the group, and this is why I'm spending part of my day in the yard, because I want to make somebody's happy. And I knew that if I make someone's happy, at the end of the day, I feel good. And so I love flowers, and I love sharing, and Shirley started all of it, and thank you.